everyone, my name is Melissa Chiasson and welcome to another episode of For the Love of Drag. Today we're going to talk about RuPaul's Drag Race Season 8 episode number 3. This episode starts off with the girls entering the workroom the morning after the double elimination in episode number 2. And the girls are talking about how they were not surprised that both queens went home because nobody was actually bringing it. Nobody served it up during that lip sync. Both Dax and Layla were sent home, and they are speculating which queen might rejoin them. Throwing out Pork Chop's name, they're throwing out Shangela's name, they're throwing out names, trying to guess who's coming in through the workroom doors. Let's move along to the mini challenge where they did a Judge Judy Couture / Supreme Court realness, where they had to drag up some judge robes and make them all glam and fill out cards saying what their judge name is and what they are famous for doing as a judge. And the winner of the mini competition is Naomi Smalls. After the mini challenge, Ru announces that someone will be returning into the competition, and in walks through the workroom doors Naysha Lopez. And I'm not that surprised that Naysha's back because she was the only other queen voted out this season. She's like, Ru can't bring back Dax or Layla because that would just be a waste of time for her to have eliminated them in the same competition. She wasn't calling them to come back. They were still like on the stage basically when she called. It had to be somebody else, and so Ru brought back Naysha. Then Ru announces that both Naomi Smalls and Naysha Lopez would be the captains for the main challenge this week. And the Maxi challenge is inspired by the show Empire, which I've never watched, but I know it's about a record label or something. That's about as much as I know. I think it's supposed to be reality, or is it a scripted show? I guess reality shows are scripted nowadays. I don't know. I literally don't know anything about Empire. So the Maxi challenge is an overacting challenge. Naysha's team consists of Derek, Thorgy, Kim Chi, Acid Betty, and herself. Naomi's team consists of Robbie, Bob, Chi Chi, Cynthia, and herself. They have to act out scenes of the Ruco Empire show, and they all have names of cookies, like Vanilla Wafer and Chocolate Biscuit or something. Grandma's oatmeal. I don't know. They're all named after cookies. I don't know if that's part of Empire. I'm confused. Like I said, I'm just going with the flow here. So while the teams are practicing, Naomi's team seems to be doing pretty good. Robbie is like an actor, so he's giving everybody tips and tricks on what to do, and so they seem to be really gelling and figuring out what they're gonna do with this competition, and they seem to be doing good. Where over on Naysha's team, there seemed to be a little bit of difficulty with Kim Chi learning lines of like one of the main parts, so they all started switching parts, which I think is probably going to hinder them. So first up to film was Naysha's team, and I thought it went pretty well. There was probably a couple of little hiccups here and there with remembering some of the words and how they were saying them, but for the most part, I thought it went really well. Then Naomi's team goes up, and it's not as good as Naysha's in the practice, but I thought Bob was hilarious during the filming. And so Robbie had issues, and as an actor, it looked really bad on her. And also Cynthia was having issues taking direction. The both of them were just not able to take the direction that Ru was giving to them. Next, we find out for the first time ever, the girls are gonna have to roller skate down the main stage. That just seems really dangerous, right? I'm hoping that they can all skate, because I feel like if I tried to do this, I'd fall straight on my bottom. There's a cat hair flying through the air. Do you see it, people? We get to hear a little bit about Thorgy's past in this episode, where we find out that unfortunately at the age of 19, his mom passed away, and he wasn't really able to be there for her, but not by choice, but because nobody told him that his mom had cancer. I was choking up a little bit while he was talking, and I felt very bad for him, but I'm kind of happy that we get to see a little bit more into who he is. So it's time for the main stage, and who comes roller skating down the runway? RuPaul. And Ru was looking fierce. She killed it. I listened to her podcast, so I know that she's roller skated. She's talked about it in the past, so I wasn't surprised that she came down roller skating, but I also wasn't expecting to see RuPaul in roller skates going down the main stage ever. I don't know if anybody ever suspected that was gonna happen. The judges this week were RuPaul, Carson Kressley, your name is impossible to say quickly, Michelle Visage, Tasha Smith, and Faith Evans. So the girls come rolling down the runway. Majority of them can actually skate. Naisha ends up wiping out. Bob the drag queen says earlier in the episode that he can't skate, and she comes out and she does the robot make her way down the stage, which was genius because she knows she wasn't going to be able to do it well. So she played with the fact that she couldn't, and she did what you should do when you can't do something, and is try to do it to the best of your ability and own it no matter what. Some of these girls need to learn from her. Kimchi was a parrot to Bob, who was like a robot. You had Cynthia doing like country realness down the main stage. I think that's what she was doing. Country roller girl. The disco. You had everything. It was a lot of different genres of roller girls. They showed the skits and they were both hilarious. I laughed multiple times. Both Thorgy and Bob killed it. They stole the show on both of their teams. They were the best. They played the exact same character too, just like different scenes. So it was pretty cool to see that the two main characters both really took it and did their own thing with it and were able to do their own thing with it and rise above everybody else. So Naomi, Kimchi, Chi-Chi, and Naisha are all safe right off the bat, which left Thorgy, Derek, Acid Betty, Bob the Drag Queen, Cynthia Lee Fontaine, and Robbie Turner up for judges' critique. Bob the Drag Queen won, and Thorgy was also one of the best ones, so they were both safe. Acid Betty was safe. Derek Barry was in the bottom, but safe. She didn't have to lip sync, and then that left Cynthia Lee Fontaine and Robbie Turner up for elimination. They were given the option for the lip sync whether to lip sync in roller skates or in heels. Robbie decided to go with roller skates. Cynthia decided to go with heels. And they both worked it in their own way. That camera was going between the two of them. That they both really killed it. Cynthia ends up getting eliminated and Robbie Turner gets to stay. I thought this episode was pretty good, especially after last season not being very good. They brought it this year. I like to end these episodes with picking something around my house that I think best represents the queen who is sent home tonight. So that being Cynthia Lee Fontaine. Back in my predictions video before the season started, I did predict that Cynthia would be one of the first queens to go home. She was really funny, but unintentionally funny. It was like language barrier funny, and she was a bit crazy. So I looked around my house and I was trying to find something that I thought would maybe best represent her. So Cynthia, the object that best represents you this week are these walnuts. Cause girl, you were nuts. Thank you all for watching this video. I hope you liked it, and if you did, you can hit the subscribe button because I'm gonna make a new one of these every week during the season. If you like this episode, you can go ahead and hit the thumbs up, like button, whatever the heck it's called, down below. Follow me on social media. The links are in my description, and you can comment down below with what you think is gonna happen next week, or who do you think is gonna go home, or do you think Cynthia should have gone home, or what did you think about this episode? Let's talk. Let's get chatting about what happened tonight on Rupaul'S Drag. And if you want to see more of me, Melissa Strange, just remember to hit the subscribe button, and until next time, stay strange.